This year, for Winter Field Day, I decided to demonstrate how to build an unplanned, not engineered horizontal loop antenna for emergency operations. And so I just built this out of a scrap piece of electric fence wire that I had on a reel, and I just spooled it out until I ran out of wire and then put it together. My original goal was to make a 160 meter horizontal loop antenna, but I didn't have enough wire. And so I ended up making a 20 meter horizontal loop antenna. It also worked well on 10. Now, I spared no expense on building this. You'll see that I used the finest electrical connectors to connect my wire. And that's the actual antenna wire hanging across the ground almost there. And I used 550 parachute cord to tie it in some trees. And there it is, tied in another tree. Now, the only thing that I didn't build out of junk per se was the balun. I had to convert from 300 ohm feed line to 50 ohm for my radio. And so I had this balun on hand that I had built for another project and reused that. I bought the parts for it off of Amazon. I got the 140-43 ferrite for $8. I bought a roll of this magnet wire for $12. I got 2 of these boxes for $10. And then 4 of these bulkheads were $8. And when you break it down to just the parts I used plus the hardware, it comes out to about $20 compared to, $115 for a similar but not the same 6-to-1 balun from a commercial retailer. My radio only has 100 watts, so I don't need a balun that's capable of handling 700 watts. I'll post links to the parts I used from Amazon in case you want to order the same thing, but there's stuff all over Amazon and all over the internet that you can get. And I'm actually also going to be working on a video on how to build a balun in case it's something that's confused you and they don't make it easy to look up online. So I'll be doing a video for that. So keep your eyes open for that. Now then, what we really want to know is, after all of this, how did the antenna do? And so after I got it all set up, I went ahead and got back to my shack, not nearly as rustic as the photo here, and made some contacts and got great reviews. And here's an actual recording from the other end of my very first contact on this antenna.
CQ, Winter Field Day. This is Whiskey Oscar 1 Zulu.
Whiskey Foxtrot 7 Sugar.
Whiskey Foxtrot 7 Sugar. I am 1 Hotel, Montana.
Roger, Roger. Montana's a new one for us. We are 3 Mike, Echo Whiskey Alpha.
Roger, Roger. And I'm hitting you from Montana to Eastern Washington on a scrap piece of electric fence wire that I just threw up and tied on some trees.
Was there even a tuner involved, or did you just Leroy Jenkins it?
Straight up Leroy Jenkins. I mean, my 991's got a tuner in it, but aside from that, nothing fancy.
How much power?
100 watts.
Excellent. Same here. Okay, well, it's working really well for you. A heck of a lot easier to construct than my wire dipole. I'll let you get to it. It's a great signal. You're getting out.
Without planning and without engineering, you can put up an antenna that is functional and feasible in a hurry with whatever you've got on hand. In my case, it was a 17 gauge galvanized steel electric fence wire. In your case, maybe it's speaker wire, maybe it's power wire. I don't know, whatever you've got. And so if you find yourself needing an emergency antenna, build yourself one. In retrospect, I went back and measured the length of the wire and did all the calculations. And I had also measured it before I took it apart with my SWR meter. And it turns out the antenna came out to about 377 feet long, the wire. And when I did the calculations on that, it said that I should have gotten about 1.05 SWR at about 45 ohms. And the reality was 1.01 SWR at 41 ohms at 20 meters. And it also predicted it would work really well at 40 meters, although I never tested it at 40 meters because it worked so well at 20 meters and I was having such a great time. I didn't even bother with trying to check anything else. So here's a couple of graphs that show the predicted versus the actual performance on it. And, you know, when it's all said and done at the end of the day, I had fun. I built an antenna. And then I tore it down and put the pieces back in the trash. So if I can do it, you can do it too.